the mic and he's ready to go. Noodle on his left, Jess on his right. Hey, hold up, don't start a fight. He's got you covered with all the sports. Don't fret, he's wearing shorts. It's time for Waking Jake in the morning, Waking Jake at night. Jake sucks.
Good morning, Bakers. What's going on, everybody? Happy Super Bowl Monday. I, Jake Storielli, took the wrong train on the way into work today, so that added to what's a tough day for a lot of American sports fans. Producer, Big Baby David. Good morning, everyone. Hope you're either getting back into the groove or not getting back into the groove. My Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I never doubted them. From the start of the season,
Never.
Start of my life, I've been a Tampa Bay Bucs fan. No, this, if you're not watching, I'm wearing Tampa crop top of sorts that Sam in our office had. I think she got it for a Gasparilla parade, and now I'm stealing it from her. So, BBD, you said it. I think we've got the game of the night tonight.
I think so.
And I say we relive this whole experience. I was digging through my tweets before this. I guess we should talk about the game first a little bit.
Run through it.
BBD, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers hosted, and I do say hosted, in Tampa. First time team's ever been a home team at a Super Bowl. The Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, Brady. We talked about it ad nauseum. Chris Rose came on. That was a good time. BBD, the game starts out kind of slow. Couple ugly drives back and forth. Chiefs, kind of a sloppy 8-play, 31-yard drive. Harrison Butker, they went up first in this game. People forget the Chiefs were up first in this game, 3-0. Rob Gronkowski with the 8-yard touchdown pass from Brady. How about that? They're at it again. It's pretty wild to see when you really think about it. And the fact that Gronk and Kelsey are the same age, that's a weird thing. And the fact that they're the same age as me, that's a weirder thing for me. 7-3, Tampa Bay. Kansas City had a couple drops. We'll talk about those in a little bit. Brady to Gronk again. Second touchdown. Me and my buddies were chuckling. Before the game, we were talking about prop bets. And sports guy Jake was like, you know what, put a little cheddar on Gronk to get a touchdown today. I think Brady, familiar face, Super Bowl, couple weeks to prepare, kind of worn out bodies with the extra week. One of my buddies replied and he said, yeah, 2 touchdowns. And I yelled at him for that. And then, would you look at that? Brady to Gronk, 17 yards, 14-3. Harrison Butker again gets another field goal. This was the drive they kind of got down the field. They couldn't do it in the red zone. Couple drops again. I'm going to talk about the drops in a little bit, BBD. And then a disaster to end the half. Chiefs are calling timeout to try to get the ball back, to get another go on offense, because that's why they're so special. All the Golden State comparisons I've been doing on this show comes to bite them in the butt. They get that bad pass interference penalty on Mike Evans. I do think you have to throw the flag. I hate that they do, because it kind of was uncatchable, but also, dude, you can't do that. You can't just tackle the wide receiver, trip him up by the feet. They go on and score Antonio Brown. How about that? The Brady bunch. Gronk comes over, Antonio Brown. It's 21-6, and man, halftime show, kind of good, kind of weird. I think we'll deep dive further into that. This whole second half was waiting for the Chiefs to kick into gear. It was, when's it going to happen? When's the light show going to go on? It never did. Their O-line got beat up. They're getting killed by the media today, and rightfully so. Mahomes was running for his life the whole game. It was kind of weird. At first he was scrambling, and you were like, oh, okay, Mahomes getting it loose. And then you were like, oh, that's what's going on this whole game. Playoff Lenny with the backbreaker, the 27-yard run, 28-9. Suckup adds a field goal later. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers held the Chiefs without a touchdown. Unbelievable. Every game script you would have written would not have gone down that way. Looking back at it, the yardage is similar. Kansas City with the 2 turnovers. Brady goes 21 of 29, 201 yards, 3 touchdowns. Fournette, 89 yards, 1 touchdown. Gronk, 6 for 67, 2 touchdowns. Mahomes, man, he was running for his life all day. I don't know. I'm here this morning looking to gather my thoughts with you guys. The game kind of stunk in hindsight. Like, you kept leaning forward whenever Kansas City got the ball because you were like, okay, now we're going to start the fun Super Bowl, and it just never happened. Even towards the end, which I think that's partially impressive and partially a credit to Kansas City. Like, I think, what was it? It came out, Kansas City's biggest comeback this year. They were down 3 touchdowns with 8 minutes left, and Kansas City got the ball with 8 minutes left, down 3 touchdowns or whatever, and you kind of were thinking maybe now's the time. Didn't happen at all. Tom Brady is Superman, wins Super Bowls 20 years apart, gets number 7, GOAT. It's no discussion. Tampa Bay Buccaneers 31, Chiefs 9. My Bucks, never a doubt. BBD, how are you? How was watching this game? What do you think? Last night's Super Bowl, I say, BBD, what's up? Where's your brain instantly jump to? Is it just Brady's amazing, or is it...
The Brady stuff has to be the first place you go. Obviously, he's the freaking best.
Yeah.
He has more Super Bowls than any team, I believe, now.
Yes.
That's the tweet and stat going around.
Yeah.
It wasn't a particularly exciting game, but it wasn't like a disaster, boring Super Bowl because of the threat of the Chiefs and their Golden State Warriors type attributes. It always felt like they were about to get back in it, so it's like the whole game was watchable.
It was. And that's kind of the weird thing, because I guess there's a little part of me that almost felt tricked at the end. Like, I enjoyed watching the Super Bowl, but I also thought there was going to be a little bit of a party favor at the end or a comeback or something. And then when it didn't happen, it was like, oh.
Yeah, I was rooting, I believe it was like very end of the third. That was like the Chiefs' chance to get like a touchdown. It's like, all right, you got a full quarter, and now you're within 2 scores. Or whatever the difference was.
Just didn't happen.
When that one didn't happen, it was like, oh, tough.
So let's walk through a couple things here. H.E.R. Her, I'm guessing she goes by.
I'm not familiar with her.
She did the guitar. I said it was the national
people were mad
anthem,
at you for not
and
knowing.
It wasn't. So I got double whammied because I didn't know who she was, and I said she did the national anthem, and she did not. I think she did God Bless America. I forget.
America the Beautiful, I think I saw someone
She
say.
was fantastic. Yes, I got a little internet roasted on that. A little over-the-hill white guy wearing a crop top. Really liked her. Our Katie Sharp, friend of the family. The team that has won the coin toss has lost the last 6 Super Bowls. Make it 7. So, whoa. Then let's see. I got excited about commercials. DoorDash had a weird one. I remember tweeting about that now. It was an early Super Bowl commercial where you're kind of wondering where it was going to end.
It was the first one that you like remembered.
Like, you get excited for the first surprise Super Bowl commercial where you're like, I'm not sure where it's heading, and then it's like, oh. But that one off the rip was like, DoorDash?
What was the commercial? I remember having the thought of, wait, that was a DoorDash commercial?
Let me see. DoorDash commercial. Because, I just tweeted out DoorDash. It was all the Sesame Street characters.
The Sesame Street, yeah.
So, I don't know. You're kind of juiced up. You got the guy from Hamilton. It's early in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they were
Sesame
singing in your
Street.
neighborhood song.
Like, you see Big Bird, and you're like, let's go. And then it was DoorDash, and you're like,
I didn't
what?
get how they got Sesame Street in the mix there. But
Right?
like the song connected well. I liked that part of it, and that is the delivery app I default to, so
Ooh, ad.
partial to them.
Do we have an ad for this? Cool.
No ad.
Jomboy Media Shop.
Flash
Promo
sale.
code baseball. 20% off everything in the shop. Flash sale.
Yeah. And
Flash sale.
the other reason we didn't have an ad scheduled. This was supposed to be the first
Oh,
episode
yeah.
on the new channel. We're not there. Turns out you have to activate
Yeah.
or like request live stream access, and I didn't know that, and I'm pretty frustrated because I could have done that any time in the 5 months this
It's okay.
show's existed.
We keep teasing last episode on this channel. This should be the last episode on this channel. Go subscribe to the other Wake and Jake channel.
Links in bios. All that.
Link in the bio, and it's with the Jomboy Media Associated channels, so go prescribe to that. I tweeted out option, exclamation point. I just remember the Chiefs ran an option, and that was mostly following up the DoorDash tweet. Marv Levy, underrated. Just because he never won all those Super Bowls. But he showed up on the old coaches' graphics. Because it was him, Belichick, and Arians. Pringles commercial.
Oh yeah, you were in the conspiracy weeds with this.
I'm all on this. Pringles ran a Super Bowl commercial right before Pringle, the return man for Kansas City, was doing a kickoff return. So you're going to tell me these companies that are spending $5 million for commercials, Pringles wouldn't have connected the dots and say, hey,
They
after
probably got a football fan there that could identify.
after the Bucs score, we want a commercial right before Pringle the returner does it. I mean, is that ridiculous? Or is that logic?
I think that's very, very likely.
Okay. I feel good about that. Drake from State Farm, huge for the Drakes and the Jakes.
I've been having some weird thoughts about the new Jake from State Farm. He's not that new anymore. It's been him for a little bit. He's just like too handsome.
We'll circle up on that in a bit. Scott Lawn commercial had me feeling emotions. We had the shank putt. Okay, we'll go back to fun Super Bowl stuff. We'll talk a little more football. Chiefs O-line got beat up. I do think Mahomes ended up just running away from plays, but that was because the O-line had been bad, so you can't blame Mahomes for that. The Chiefs receivers need to get more crap. Tyreek Hill.
There are a lot of balls that were not only
he had
catchable, hit them.
He
in
had
the
two
hands.
touchdown passes dropped. Hit the guys in the helmet. Tyreek Hill, that would have put them up 7-0, which again, that changes like the whole course of a game. They didn't score they didn't score a touchdown in the entire game. They would have went up 7-0. So I think that is hugely impactful. Hugely impactful. Cool, Jake. And then I think Darrell Williams, who he's a running back and blah, 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 but he did the exact same thing. Got hit in the helmet. Those would have been 2 touchdown passes. And that was on the crazy Mahomes throw.
Yeah.
That would have been like...
when he was full horizontal, that one.
That would have been the highlight of all highlights, and it still kind of is, but if that was a touchdown pass...
If that was a touchdown pass at all, we look at that play forever.
Like-
and if it's part of it sparks the comeback, it's like the best play of all time.
Right, and that's where this game was a blowout. Tampa Bay dominated. Everyone on the Tampa Bay side deserves credit. I think the Chiefs O-line is getting killed, and everyone
Everyone knew coming into the game they were banged up.
right, and you still don't know what that looks like. When we talked to Bobby Skinner, when we talked to Chris Rose, I mean, we knew that was going to be an X factor of the game, and it turned out it was. I'm, like, disappointed in the Chiefs, man. Like, I know, and I guess this is where things do start together. Like, some of their fun plays do take a while to develop because it's Tyreek Hill doing a double move,
Being
and
the
then
best
he's
athlete on
60
the
feet
field.
downfield. So they couldn't do some of that stuff. But I guess I'm just disappointed. Kelsey had a big drop. It was after the fourth and the goal line stop. They were starting up their next drive, third down play. Travis Kelsey in the hands. Drop. I mean, and obviously sports, momentum, football, blah, blah, blah.
It's no one of these plays, but
They got beat up in this game. But this should have been a much better game. And Mahomes' stat line should look a lot differently. And that's where people are saying, if the Chiefs had their 2 tackles or, this whole game looks differently. This whole game should have looked differently anyways. 2 guys in the end zone got hit in the dome. I don't know. So that's kind of been my walk away, take away, where
if any one of those goes different, and Kansas City just gets a touchdown at some point, you're on the edge of your seat just for more of the game, even if the result doesn't otherwise change.
I mean, one of those makes it a better game for a little bit. Sorry, I just put an ice cube in my mouth and I realized how dumb that was. I didn't mean to. It came through the little hole.
Yeah.
It's kind of messed up on that.
While you're chewing on ice.
Sure.
I mean, the Bucs gave the Chiefs O-line the opportunity for like locker room bulletin board material.
Yeah.
With the JPP stuff early in the week. I'm sure there were other quotes too, but when Fisher was out, who's their right tackle ? I think he's on the right side now. He was a top draft pick and was the left at one point. And Mike Remmers was in there, who was also who's on that Broncos team, I believe, right?
Yeah.
And he's on the Giants last year. He's been a starting NFL offensive lineman for the better part of a decade. I don't know how long his career's been. Almost 100 career games. And JPP claimed to not know who he is. It's come on, guys, you got to rally around that a little bit.
That's where I think football can become cool, because they were interviewing the Bucs defensive players after the games, and a lot of them were giving awesome interviews. And I want to say, I think it was White, the linebacker, and he was just saying, our plan was to just out-physical them, which sounds, you hear any football team say that to a degree. They're going to say
that every time.
But when you see that work, when you yell at guys for practice for 2 weeks saying, we're going to beat them up, and then you start beating them up, that's like a rolling ball. There's no recovering from that, and I think you could see that from the Tampa Bay defense. I do think it's also worth pointing out, as I go through my old tweets, I think the Bucs were getting calls in this game, especially in that stretch of the first half.
They certainly got more of them.
I mean,
certainly.
I tweeted out at one point, Gronk, Kelsey, Jake, all 31 years old, marry, fuck, kill. But I don't know where I was going with that. I said Patriot fans realizing what every opposing team has felt playing against Brady for the past 2 decades with these refs. And hey, it's putting yourself in a position to be successful. I don't think refs are making calls because of Tom Brady necessarily, but there was a stretch there that was tough. The Chiefs were looking for a holding penalty that they could have got. There was a couple, I think there was a holding called on the Chiefs that even Romo was
multiple pass
Romo was and then that
holding call was
that big pass interference that, again, the Chiefs put themselves in that position. They called timeouts. The guy got beat, so that's why he did it. I mean, they kind of got bailed out because it wasn't a great throw by Brady, which, again, maybe the pass interference came into play a little more there and it wouldn't look as bad. But you have to throw that flag. If you're, I always do, if I was the opposing team, what would I objectively think? And if you're the Chiefs and that same exact play happened, you would have been screaming for pass interference because the guy got tackled.
Yeah.
It wasn't like their feet tripped. He fell and his hands
tripped into him,
hit that guy's feet. It was the wide receiver. So I don't think you can complain about that one, but there was a few calls, a couple.
Yeah, those ones specifically, it's all right, but you
it was
look
just
at it,
rolling.
you see how the rule
It was
happens.
4 straight calls that had to be made, all went against the Chiefs.
There was the neutral zone infraction or
what
whatever
was
it was.
that?
And Roma wasn't quite sure which guy it was called on.
Yeah.
They called it on Antonio Hamilton, is that his first name? But he was it also might have been on Mecole Hardman. He's I don't know who that was called on.
And then there was
that's just tough.
Again, Kansas City. So, okay, couple things. Let me tell you guys about football. Touchdowns. Really good. Really good. Kind of like the best you can do. Kansas City had 2 drop touchdown passes in the end zone. Hit their hands, hit their helmet, incomplete.
Direct.
Turnovers. They had an interception. There was a holding call on the play, and I don't think it was a vicious holding call. Honey Badger. Ball got tipped. Honey Badger intercepted. Holding call. Again, I don't think a lot of Chiefs fans are screaming from the mountain, but if that's one of the calls that does go, which happens in a lot of football games, that's your interception. That could be your momentum thing. The kickers made their kicks. I don't know. I didn't put it until I actually saw it. The fact that Spagnuolo was their defensive coordinator, that's pretty cool. That's good football stuff. Like
an all-time coordinator.
That's what I tweeted out. I think, and I guess we can do a little Hall of Fame stuff because NFL announced their Hall of Fame class, which is kind of a fun one because they have fun with the Hall of Fame, unlike the other sport that season's just started.
And it was like a particularly big name class, I think.
Yeah, there's a couple Woodson, Peyton, there's a couple others, but yeah, Spagnuolo should be in the Hall of Fame. I don't know how many coordinators are in. I don't know if any are in
for just that.
But there's something pretty cool to that. That I don't know. If you're a coordinator with multiple Super Bowls, you deserve to be recognized. You planned out half the game.
Yeah, you were in charge of half of the game.
That's why you need multiple, because then you get 2 halves. You get a full game. Those are my new NFL Hall of Fame rules.
He had a quote earlier in the week about it, wanting to be a head coach again, which I feel kind of bad because he's not. I doubt he's gonna get the chance to because it's just gone badly with the couple times he's gotten that chance. But as a coordinator, love him.
Yeah. What else do we need football wise? Did anything else really happen?
Did we fully do the punt thing?
What was it? Was it off or it wasn't offsides on the punt?
I didn't actually hear what the penalty was on it, but
he dropped it.
It was the
he
drop.
Ripped an amazing punt, and then he shanked it. And that changed.
They got a
redo
and he shanked
position.
it.
Yeah, I think that was a holding. I think it was semi-legitimate. Yes, it was. Yes, because the guy dropped it. So if that guy came through kind of clean with the drop punt, there's a good chance he could have blocked it or affected it. So I think that one ended up being legit. But that field position wise, that was a huge play in the game.
Yeah, wasn't it? It was might be making the number up, 19-yard difference between the two. Where it ended up.
I think it might be more than that if I had to.
I feel now that I said that, I think I heard a 20 number.
I like
20
that.
20-something.
And yeah, the other thing, and I don't want to get too serious. Well, Tom Brady, GOAT, whatever. Kind of knew it, and now you know it even more. Everyone thought Mahomes was on that path, and I think, this could end up being a decent, slice of humble pie for him.
He's still on the path towards that becoming a conversation.
Right, but you got to do a lot to get there. Tom Brady, 20 years apart. If you want to do it, I was one of them already ready to announce Mahomes is next, and he's got to do a lot more. Again, I think with the O-line, it's a very different game. And so this is where I was going with the serious stuff. The whole Andy Reid and his son thing. That's bad. That was
I didn't fully look into that until literally Saturday night. I remembered that I heard about it, and then someone tweeted something. And I was like, I'll go read an article. It's really bad.
Yeah, I heard about it. Andy Reid's son. He's a coach on the team. He
linebackers coach.
I forget, but he people were pulled over on the side of the highway, and he clipped them, and I think he had a couple drinks or something, and they're still figuring everything out. But I think a little girl got hit, and she's in the hospital and stuff. So
I read 2 children injured, 1 critically.
Yeah. So it's really sad, and again, you wonder the first question after the game, Andy Reid was asked about that. So again, you wonder how much of that ties into just not He's like, we prepped for a football game. Like, it's not that
How much
we
did
got
that
beat
affect
today,
the
but
intangibles?
yeah, I don't know. That stuff weighs on you very much. I mean,
especially not only is it an assistant coach on his staff, it's his son.
It's his son, like, who could be in some like very serious trouble. So I don't know. I won't go there. And that's every Chiefs player that asked about it was like, hey, it's a serious thing and a really sad thing, but like it's not why we lost today. Like we got beat. That Tampa Bay defense went nuts. This is like a super team, man. And
pretty much all their main guys are still locked up.
Football got away from that. The last one, and I think I mentioned it here a few times, was the Philadelphia team that was it was Mike Vick. They brought in a bunch of studs, and they called themselves like the Dream Team or something.
Vince Young
like that.
came in and was like, and he was the one that said it. It's like, dude, you are the backup.
You're the backup quarterback. That team kind of stunk. And football just takes a lot. Takes a lot of chemistry. Hot take, Jake here this morning. And you can't overlook the lines because that can literally change a game. It makes the sport impossible to play. Look at Mahomes running around yesterday. But this Bucs team really is. I mean, Tom Brady came over. Leonard Fournette. The dude was top 3 pick in the draft, right? And fourth. So he gets,
same thing.
He basically gets exiled out of Jacksonville, but like that guy's got crazy talent to be a running back that could be taken that high. I mean, Gronk's like the best tight end ever. Also, just came on the team because of Brady. Antonio Brown was the best wide receiver in the league until his life turned into a complete disaster. Even some of the defensive guys like JPP, like they've got some names. Golston, that's kind of a deeper cut, but
some dudes.
Good for the Bucs, man. Good for Arians. Tom's gonna run it back. He said that when he got the MVP
he's been saying
trophy.
for years he's getting to 45.
He's scary, man.
He's like committed to playing.
Like he looked pretty good up there. My man looks healthy.
I think
he
said
going.
at some point during the week he's like thinks he can go beyond 45 now. It's like I have no reason to doubt him.
We got to get on the diet. I want in.
Said we'd do it
for like a 5-day week.
Yeah, give it like an earnest week trial.
Someone reach out to myself or BBD and tell us how to do the Tom Brady diet.
Give us like a comprehensive list of the rules.
That would be.
We looked at their website and like I get most of the gist of it, but
what halftime show BBD.
I like The Weeknd. The show was weird.
Show was a little weird.
Liked it more than I disliked it because I just like his songs.
I think it was good. I think last year is a tough year to compete with. Shakira, J-Lo, I mean, they tore it up.
Yeah. That was like I remember that one.
Like you had to like stand up to watch it. You were like, this is electric.
Several gifable moments from that. I mean, I guess there were a couple from this too, but
The Weeknd got the Lost in the Hallway thing. So that was weird. He went for something there that ended up being a little weird. All the guys in the red suits with the white mask thing going on.
They were able to try some stuff because of. I mean, there were fans there, but because of not a full house that he had to entertain.
So I like that he went for something. Like he was all
different.
over the stadium, which I don't think you could normally do. Like he was on top of the stadium on the outskirts. He was in the middle of the field. He had that stage that he kind of made. I like that he went for it. I don't think it was
I get why
a 10 out of 10. I don't think it was an 8 out of 10. Like I think it was 6 out of 10. It was good. He went for something, which I respect that. But yeah, like when I came back to the thing he tried was just like moving around to different parts of the stadium. I was like, that's kind of not that cool.
Yeah, I'm wondering how I would have felt had it been an artist I'm not very familiar with. Not that I'm like super familiar with him, but like I know 90% of what he did up there.
I guess that was the other thing for me that I was like, wow, The Weeknd has had a lot of bangers.
A couple songs I didn't realize were him.
Right.
Also.
Like his songs that go. So I guess
it helped.
that's how you
One
get
of
the
my
Super Bowl.
one of my college roommates, my sophomore year, I lived in the swim team suite, and one of my roommates was a big time The Weeknd fan. I guess it was kind of before he like blew up. That was, 4 years ago now?
That's pretty cool.
He's a huge The Weeknd guy. So I was like texting him last night. I was like,
that's big. That's big for the music people. You get in early. I mean, that's pride and joy stuff.
I still feel like I deserve, like, somebody needs to give me credit for how we're like on like the Lil Dicky train.
Yeah.
Found him early.
Save that money.
Earlier than that.
Let's see, a couple Blaine Gabbert tweets. There's one commercial.
That Wayne's World Cardi B commercial got me pretty good.
I was into it. I mean, I think there's a part of it that's a little,
Some people like cringed at it, I guess.
Yeah.
But I liked it.
Yeah, that's.
I watched Wayne's World like 2 months ago. So
okay. So that's still fresh. Wayne's World is good.
Yeah.
Wayne's World is good. Yeah, I think there's something.
My mom loves Wayne's World. So
okay.
She and I were bantering about it. She missed the commercial, but then I was just talking to her about it later.
I like that. I saw that tweet. Yeah, there's something like when they lamely kind of got them together. Like the whole thing was like Wayne's World and Cardi B. Like if they had just taken a little more of a creative path, I think I would have been into it.
Missing one more step.
One more step.
But I liked it. The Mila Kunis Cheetos commercials getting a lot of pub.
Guy with a sign. How much did he get paid, huh?
That was good.
So I think that's the Super Bowl.
Shaggy.
I think going back, it's like Brady, there's literally nothing to say. I mean, he's the GOAT, and he will continue to be the GOAT. And I guess that's where, in the realm of sports, it was my tweet after the game. Jakey tweets, talking Jake on Twitter, follow my dick. Brady, Eli, a big winner of the night, huh?
Mm-hmm.
The fact that he just gets to remain Tom Brady's thorn forever.
Yeah. For so many reasons, I hate that the Eagles also beat him.
Sure.
Because it was such a prideful thing for me to just always be like, nobody else has beat him. And the Eagles, teams were the team that beat him. But
Eli, man. Bruce Arians, again, he was a coordinator for a long time. He entered that coordinator territory where people were like, I don't know if he'll ever get a head coaching gig. He went to Arizona and was the head coach there for a little while, and it was like, yeah. Like I think he was the head coach of one of those Kurt Warner teams that.
Yeah, let me see.
I think he was, but I mean, huge for him. And like, hey, I guess where I'm talking myself down is, how hot I was running on Andy Reid and Mahomes, and they're going to be here for the next 15 years. Like, Bruce Arians, A, he's a little older, but B, he's got Brady for at least one more year. He, like Andy Reid, kind of didn't have the Super Bowl for a long time, and now, I think he won a couple with Pittsburgh as an assistant, but as a head coach.
Yeah, Arians, he had the stint as interim coach for the 2012 Colts, and they went 9-3 while he was in charge. He isn't credited with those ones. Then he got the Arizona job. They went 10-6, 11-5, 13-3 their first 3 years with him. Then 7-8, 8-8. Not as good.
Yeah.
But this year, 11-5 in a Super Bowl.
Bruce Arians, and then down Andy Reid. Again, I've been getting ready to just love Andy Reid, and everybody loves Andy Reid. He's this beautiful walrus of a man. I thought he was about to elevate himself into a pantheon of all-time coaches. He is not. It'll be interesting to watch how that narrative plays out, because if you had to choose, and this brings me to my last guy, if you got to choose between Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, you go Patrick Mahomes. So if they start, I don't know, if they don't make the Super Bowl next year or whatever it looks like, could get interesting. And then the other guy that was on my mind is Belichick, man. Like, Bill's a little older now. How long does he want to coach? And the Patriots are kind of talent deprived right now.
Yeah.
While the Bills are good, the Dolphins are up and coming, the Jets stink. But like, what if
Jets stink, but they think they're getting Deshaun Watson. So
what if Belichick only wants to coach football for 1 or 2 more years, and the Bills are legit? Like Rosen and the Bills are going. They're going to be an 11+ win team every year. Like, Belichick's resume is going to have a little stain on it, man. Because this sicko went to Tampa Bay at 43 years old and just won the damn thing. My Bucks. Unreal. Mahomes and the gang will be back. Believe that. Hopefully with an offensive line. But that game should have been better. All the commercials that went serious, I just couldn't even think about it this year.
Yeah. I mean, every year it's like, come on, guys. Super Bowl commercials, we're here to laugh. Like, I get when things are important. You need one of those.
I'll give you 1 or 2. You kind of need that to keep you in check. But this year, no way. Like, every time that a commercial just opened and you knew it was serious, it was just, like, so deflating. Like, can't do this. Tough year. Good year for Tampa Bay. How about Tampa, dude? Lightning, Bucks, Rays should have had a chance at a Game 7. Maybe. Better chance.
Won the AL.
Don't pull Snell. The
they
Raptors
have a basketball team this year.
Tampa Raptors stink, though.
Yeah.
So, take that, Tampa.
I think playing better lately.
Take that, Tampa. So that's the Super Bowl. Football's over. When's the draft? March?
It's usually in April, NFL draft.
NFL draft. I think you're right with April.
It's usually,
yeah.
If my brother's birthday's on a Thursday, it's usually the first round day.
End of April, 29th. So the NFL finds a way to get in a good news cycle. I'm sure we'll be seeing stuff soon. Deshaun Watson, Sam Darnold. But yeah, and we should
Wentz rumors are going.
Jomboy Media will be doing better in football. Bobby Skinner's running with that. I think we're gonna do a full draft thing. Not exactly sure what that looks like yet, but we'll have some fun with that. But
working towards a draft thing.
So that's the football. BBD. Do we want to talk about other sports? Or Carson Wentz rumors.
I'm guessing a trade's going to happen, and it's going to be the bulk of Thursday's episode.
Carson Wentz goes to the Bears.
The rumors going Friday, Saturday. It seemed imminent.
Carson Wentz goes to the Bears and he's bad. If I'm a Bears fan, I tap out.
Did you see the reported package?
I did. I saw it got shot down.
It got shot down.
Cohen and
Cohen a first, and Nick Foles going back to Philly. Which that's the part that's fun.
That's rumor mill. We'll see.
But yeah,
that should happen soon.
I think it's gonna be trade somewhere.
It's gonna be so funny, man. If Wentz goes to a good team, I think people are gonna be all excited and good coach, good system, blah blah blah. If he goes
needs a fresh
to a team with a bad quarterback, I guess, and that's where people need to be more real about Wentz. Like if Carson Wentz went to the Broncos, I think I would be excited and be like, oh yeah. Things just fell apart. Peterson was a joke. He's going to be good again.
Look at his tools.
You talk yourself into it. So, at least he's still got that. That could also end after one game, though. Because he's been so bad, and he gets paid so much.
Injuries.
Contract. Kubiak retires. Cool. Go Broncos.
Replace him with his son.
That's fun. Just keep it rolling.
Saw the line that Mike Zimmer wanted to keep the same offensive game plan, and they will.
And he was serious about it. Basketball. What's going on with the KD stuff? I kind of saw it. There was contact tracing, so he got pulled out of the game something.
So it was the first game in his career that he came in off the bench. I believe it was Friday night. Could have days wrong.
Okay.
I believe it was Friday night. And they figured out it was some team employee drove him a couple times earlier in the day and then tested positive when they got to the stadium.
Gotcha.
But they kept him out initially because they deemed him a close contact. Then I don't know, somebody pulled a fast one and deemed him not a close contact.
Yeah, I saw, and I think
so he got back in.
I think Keith tweeted it or Talking Nets tweeted it. The part that does kind of suck, and it's one of those things at the end of the day it doesn't matter, but it's just the fun facts, like, Kevin Durant has started X many games in a row, or he's scored double digits in X many games, and like all of those got ruined because he came off the bench and he played like a couple minutes or whatever.
Minutes.
So
he and then I think the guy took a retest and then for sure tested positive, and so they had to yank him. I was like, what are we doing? Like, just it's Kate. Like you knew, like it's Katie's first year back from the Achilles stuff.
Right.
Like you're supposed to give him an extra rest days that year anyway. Like, just don't play him.
yeah, that's true.
It's
too.
like the easiest one.
I like that.
Harden
the
and
Nets.
Kyrie were playing. Kyrie's out with like a finger thing now. So it's just like, Nets, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And Harden was like, yeah, it was just weird because we didn't know if we had KD.
Right.
I think he just committed one way or another. You had a better chance of
Just
winning.
let us know.
Because with the rest of that roster, it's really good. Oh, and speaking of that roster,
Uh-oh.
the Nets have signed Noah Vonleh.
How about that?
So, I don't know.
Former Knicks great.
Some
Noah Vonleh.
some nominal rim protection.
He bangs. Not really on
The
defense.
Knicks year was nice.
He was fun for a little bit.
He will attempt to block shots, so
Huge.
that's big for them.
It's huge.
And now Katie's not back.
We haven't
until
been here
Friday.
since the Bauer signing, have we?
No.
I was moving. Bauer's on the Dodgers. Talking baseball. I won't empty my
Doing
heart
numbers.
here. So we're already running up against it. Busy Monday at Jomboy Media. Bauer picks the Dodgers. Handled it. I don't know. Kind of what I expected. Tweeted out the YouTube video or whatever.
It wasn't a bad one.
Do we feel bad for Mets fans?
A little bit because of the report that an agreement happened, but and Mets fans, at least that like I follow, we're aware. Like, come on, can anyone
Yeah.
besides Bob
Yeah.
tweet this, please?
Okay, that's fair. For going through that process and the Bauer selling shirts, like Mets shirts thing, that was pretty messed up. I know he's on an apology tour for that. I think Mets fans also ended up okay because
They've had a good offseason.
they went through so much of a whirlwind in that 24 hours with Bauer that a couple of our buddies are like, we're good, man. Like,
Plus
if everything's going to be like this, like, we're kind of good.
They've had a good offseason. A really good offseason, you look at it, even though they didn't like get their targets. They didn't get Bauer, Real Muto, or Springer. Like, they've had a good offseason.
So what else has to... Ozuna went back to the Braves.
Ozuna went back to the Braves. There was that Andrews trade.
Elvis Andrews for Chris Davis. That's
It's
a
fun. A
good
vet for
veteran
vet.
trade. Yeah.
There's one big prospect in there.
Yeah.
Not big, but a top 10 organizational.
Prospects, yeah. Any other baseball?
They'll all
Baseball
be
balls
covered.
drop?
There's a lot of... But
A lot of little ones.
I went ham on the Talking
that.
Baseball doc for tomorrow.
Well, use it as an ad.
Fowler dump.
Oh, yeah. That was an interesting one. Yeah,
Carlos
we'll
Gray is working on an extension. It's not
Huge.
this show.
Talking baseball tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
We'll be there for that. BBD, that's the sports for now. Football's done. Although we'll probably get a big trade at some point. Basketball, we're catching up on.
Before
Knicks.
you know it, we're in draft mode, too.
Yeah. Knicks trade for Derrick Rose. Finally got our man. Talking Knicks. Ep was just listening to that on the way in when I took the wrong train. So
I'm very happy with that
blame them.
episode. So
I like that.
give it a listen. We went long. We had
I
had
saw
some
it was
good
like an hour
conversations because we
15.
also ended up talking about the games
The
a little
games
bit.
and stuff, yeah. Go check that out. BBD, let's jump to the comment of the day. Wake and Jake Bakers. I asked you guys, leave a comment. Let's talk about sports, man. Talk about how good I look in this crop top. Talk about BBD. You guys comment. I ask you to bake the algorithm. The more comments, the more likes, the more shares. It's just better for everyone. The comments last episode, we had Chris Rose on. He was fantastic. Max Martin. I was a child actor back in 2002 and got to play a young Chris Rose in a sketch for the Best Damn Sports Show, period, for Chris's anniversary on the show. He was a nice dude. So, that's huge.
Like that.
Had someone ask about the color of the Gatorade. Turned out to be blue. CBFA Bulldogs. And then this was just a nice one. Michael Hall. Chris Rose on Wake and Jake. Great up today, Jake and BBD. Really looking forward to Super Bowl weekend. I feel like Jake is going to be all over the Gatorade color, and I need that Jakey scoop. I like sports, and I don't care who knows. So that's what we're going for. Thank you guys in the YouTube. Thank you people on the Facebook machine. My podcast app got moved. I think I like deleted an app, and it did one of those things where all the apps slide up. So my podcast app is now in a totally different location. So I was
trying to look.
Yeah, I got pretty lost this morning, but thank you guys for baking the algorithm. Every like, share, review helps. Let's see where we're at on the podcast app. 272. Is there a recent one? A bro of the night. Oh, yeah, that's the one with our body. So thank you guys. I love you. You're all beautiful. BBD, that brings us to the bro of the night. The bro of the night, standout performer. I'm doing a cop-out, but not a full cop-out, because I think this guy should have won Super Bowl MVP. Rob Gronkowski. Gronk had 2 touchdowns, man. Big old Gronk. Big old guy with a big burly beard. So let's go back. We talked a lot about Brady. He's the GOAT, blah, blah, blah. Talked about Belichick. You know, things are kind of going down. There's still, when I say things are going down for Belichick, I think the standard was he is the best coach ever by far. Now I think it's like a discussion. And it still was a discussion, but if Brady keeps going, like, then it becomes Brady points.
If Belichick doesn't get back to the playoffs, and like there are people who say this Patriots team wasn't as good as their 7-9 record showed, which for a little bit we were saying credit to Belichick, and then Brady wins a Super Bowl and we don't care.
Hey, it all ties together. Belichick's a good coach. Brady's a great quarterback. They're all great.
That's how they had 20 years of
Gronk's the best tight end ever. 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 And it's kind of this weird thing that it gets acknowledged but overlooked because of who Gronk is. Like, I know Lindsey Adler had a couple good tweets that was like, it's insane that Gronk is still like this party boy guy. Like, he took last year off to party, basically.
Just wanted to hang out.
I do think part of it was like getting his body rested and a pretty comfortable spot in life, but I don't think he was done with football, and he showed it this year that he had 2 touchdowns in the Super Bowl. Again, like, that's going to blow people's minds.
Over the Belichick stuff.
I think that's going to, yeah, I mean, and he's the best tight end ever. Like, is there a chance that all 3 are loosely, if Gronk had got drafted by the Bears, that we'd be here today saying he wasn't the best tight end ever? Yes. Is there a world where Tom Brady doesn't end up with Belichick and he's not considered the best quarterback ever? Yes. Is there a world where Belichick doesn't have Brady and he's not considered the best coach ever? Yes. So it all ties together, and it leads to bad sports debates at bars in the upper Northeast region. So I'm giving it to Gronk.
I like that. And it's more than just the 2 touchdowns. He had like a complete game.
Yeah.
6 catches, 67 yards. I would assume like it was just, I mean, overall his best game of the year. Because they also like didn't fully use him early. The Bucs team the whole year was just building towards this,
which doesn't really work in a lot of sports, but especially football.
The last time he played the Chiefs was his other good game.
Gotta let Kelsey know. Gotta let Kelsey know about it. And then, yeah, I woke up this morning, and I forget what I tried to look at on YouTube, but there's a Manscaped commercial, and it was Gronk. Basically just making a bunch of pubes jokes. And it's just like, he's a ridiculous human, huh?
Just awesome.
Normally that party guy thing either fades out or doesn't work, and Gronk's gonna ride it to the moon. Dogecoin. Who's your bro of the night, BBD?
Well, Todd Bowles is the bro of the night.
Yeah.
Defensive coordinator of the Tampa Bay Bucks. I mean, you look at just the difference between the 2 games.
Yeah. Yeah.
He clearly made like every adjustment he needed to. He spent the year, they built up this defense going into the game. I mean, the first time they played, I mean, just look at Tyreek Hill, 269, nice, 3 TDs.
Yeah.
including a 75-yard play. And this week, 73 yards total for Tyreek. No touchdowns allowed. They got 10 QB hits on Mahomes, and how many did they almost get a hit?
Yeah. I
don't know what the definition is. Literally just hitting them.
Pressures.
Number of sacks, all that, pressures. They were just all over the place. It's really good.
Yeah, I mean, the tackles were out, but they blitzed a lot, and if you blitz a lot against a good quarterback, usually the thing is, you're going to let up a big one or two, and that just didn't happen. I heard a stat this morning that Tyreek Hill was doubled on every pass play.
Yeah,
or every
pretty
play,
much.
which I like that. They kind of did a let Kelsey beat you, and Kelsey's stats end up looking bigger than I remember his game being. He gets 10 for 133, but
that drop is like the play I remember.
Drop kind of sticks out. There was only one play where he was really like bumbling, like he was going.
And it was like is that like towards the end of the game, like kind of last ditch effort. Like it didn't really matter yet.
And I guess that's where
anymore.
Okay, so I'm gonna come at Todd Bowles, but it's to bring him up even more. Is like, again, the score of this game should be different. There should be 2 touchdown passes if guys catch the ball. And the big thing is they held the Chiefs to without a touchdown, and that's incredibly impressive. I'm not taking that away from them. There easily could have been a couple. What I will say is when they look back at this and people discuss Brady and everything, Rodgers, Breeze, Mahomes. I mean, that's got to be...
And Heineke gave him the toughest game at the end of it.
That's got to be, looking back at team runs, those have to be 3 of the biggest quarterbacks taken down
at
in
least
a run.
in name.
So,
Breeze banged up, all that.
To beat all of them.
Rodgers won MVP.
Rodgers won MVP this year. Mahomes is, supposedly the next GOAT. And Breeze is the guy that competes with Brady for every record.
He has the all-time records and, all of it.
So Todd Bowles deserves some love. He'll be hot in the streets for a year. I think all the coaching spots are filled, so hopefully he'll be back next year because his run with the Jets wasn't as awful as a lot of Jets coaches.
If you think about
I guess it's what
being
you
the
compare
Jets.
It to. Compare it to
wasn't
Gase.
too bad.
Good bro of the night, BBD.
Little shout out to Aaron Fox. He had a nice game. 36 points and 7 assists on 15 of 25. Nice little player.
I think Sacramento has won 7 of their last 8.
Close win over the Clippers, and I believe he hit a game-winning shot, not like a buzzer beater that I haven't watched, but it said it was a nice play.
Stuff. BBD, it's about that time. Start wrapping it up. You got some NBA games on here. You got some college basketball games on here.
Yeah, we're running through it. Bucks Nuggets tonight.
Sure.
Just good team in each conference going at it. Warriors Spurs tomorrow night if you want a deep cut NBA game. Celtics Jazz late night. Tonight, Oklahoma State against Kansas.
Okay.
So Cade Cunningham.
Always.
Tonight at 9. And a couple of ranked teams play each other Tuesday. West Virginia and Texas Tech. So.
Yeah, actually, I watched the first West Virginia-Texas Tech game, and it was really good. So if you're looking for a college basketball game, apparently Tuesday. The Jazz have been winning a ton of basketball games. They've been playing incredible. For the Jomboy Media Network, Talking Yanks coming live in a little bit. Might have a new show coming this week. Teaser, we'll see. Talking Knicks, Pinstripe Strong. Talking Nets is going. Talking baseball, Big F's. Big F's coming. Jomboy Jake TV. Wake and Jake. We're going to the new channel next up. Telling you, go subscribe. Come over there. I love you.
No trivia show this week, but feel free to watch those.
Yeah.
Season 1's over.
Sequence
tomorrow.
Grown Losers.
Jake at night. Jake sucks.